Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Ty from AGI Pro DJ on our second edition of AGI Pro DJ After Hours. I'm here with Stu from Denon DJ, who just brought us in with the show, doing a little mixing on the brand new Denon DJ SC6000s and the X1850 mixer. Stu, what's going on, man? And we can't hear you. I can't hear you. Check one, check two. Boop, boop.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
All right, we're going to just do it like that.
Right on.
Perfect.
Beautiful technology, right?
Airbud fail.
All good. Stu, where are you at right now?
I'm down here in Miami, Florida. It's nice and hot, and it's times, so just grateful for that.
Right on. Very cool. I think you might have to leave his overhead view in, Kevin, to pick up audio on him. Cool. So, Stuart, can you tell everybody a little bit about what your current role is with Denon DJ, and then a little bit about your DJ career also?
Yeah, definitely. So right now with Denon DJ, I am the national sales manager. I work very closely with another associate, basically maintaining all the sales account through Denon DJ. But not just that, with Denon, we all kind of chip in. So we all have feedback about upcoming products. We have feedback about software updates and everything like that. Everybody in the company is a working DJ. So we all have feedback within the progress of all the products going on out there. Myself, my journey in music has been very dynamic and interesting. About 6 years ago, I was signed for pop music, doing boy bands out in Los Angeles, California. Did a bunch of really cheesy stuff, but really amazing people to work with. And then from there, I dove heavily into DJing. I started DJing in 1997, back in the day. and then went to production. And then after doing the boy band stuff, went back into DJing and went through deep house music, dubstep, pretty much all the genres of that. Now I have a hard techno project that is very popular in Europe and South America. So no matter what it is, it's pretty much always revolved around music, making music, DJing for people and everything like that. So super grateful to be a part of In Music and Denon DJ. I've worked in the industry for other companies before, but when In Music came along, it was such an innovative and forward-thinking company that I had no other choice but to actually go to work for them, because they thought just how a DJ thinks of forward innovation, embracing technology and everything of that sort.
Right on. That's very cool. I'm going to have to hit you up about the boy band project when we're all done. So
I'll send you some links.
Right on. Cool. Right on. So should we jump into this and take a look at the SC6000 and the 1850?
Yeah, we can dive right into that, and then we can go into the other units that we also have coming up as well. So
perfect. Right, and then just so people know, the 1850 is shipping now, right?
Correct. 1850 shipping now, and the SC6000 and the 6000Ms are about Q2. Going to be out in about Q2.
So for layman's terms, you're like June, July?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, June, July-ish.
Okay, cool.
So we'll start with the mixer, and then we'll go over to the players. So the mixer, a lot of the improvements have been based on user feedback. You'll notice with almost all the new products coming out, it's all based on user feedback. We have a very active forum community, and we take a lot of their feedback and then incorporate it into our updates. So with the mixer right here, you'll notice right off the bat, it's a nice blacked out look to it. We did away with kind of a two-toned look on there. We also redid the way the buttons put out light, just to reduce a little bit of the LED light illumination in the DJ booth. And then also to make it more visible, we have the white ring around the EQ right here. So when you're in a DJ booth, a lot of lights are going on, it's dark. You can really easily dial in your EQ settings, because now you can see them with the ring around there. Completely redid all the effects on there. So the effect algorithms have been redone. They sound amazing. You can also run this in 96K now as well, and added tension on the up faders here. So on the channel faders, a big request was to add a little bit more tension on there. So there's tension on those. Locking IEC cable, if you can see that right here, all of the new products, the 6000, the 6000Ms, and this guy, the 1850, have locking IEC cables. So when you're in the booth, if someone accidentally tugs away at this, it is not going anywhere. And then, of course, you do have the flex fader in here, the Denon patented flex fader, and that is tension adjustable. You just have to take off these screws and adjust the little knob to dial in your tension. And that is pretty much the update. Oh, and one other one that is a huge request was the 3/4 note value right here on the touch strip. When people are doing echoes, typically to get the best echo sound, usually people go into 3/4, and it was heavily requested. So instead of doing it on the effect knob up here and the time parameter, you just simply hit 3/4 right here, and then instantly goes to 3/4. So that is the updates on the 1850. So nice. Then let's go over to the 6000s. These were a huge upgrade as far as just the visual appeal of it. You'll notice right off the bat, the first thing your eyes go to is a high resolution 10-inch touchscreen. Now this is a multi-touch touchscreen, just like the 5000. The 5000 had a 7-inch. This is now a 10-inch. So multi-touch, you can still pinch to zoom. You can scrub back and forth. You can switch through everything you need to on there. And the one thing that we have going on is that we have an 8.5-inch platter right here. We have the high resolution display on there. We redid all the colors on here, so we have less light emulation. And also we redid the hard drive. Now there's an actual hard drive in the bottom. So you can actually flip this guy over without knocking over the camera. And you'll notice that there is a hard drive SATA bay right in here. And also on the wheel right here, we have a smooth glide on there. There's no longer notches, so you can dial in exactly where you would like your tension to be on there. And again, we redid the wheel 100% complete. So this wheel is now an 8.5 inch with different stabilization mechanisms in it. So it's super solid. And this, the firmware I'm running on here is a beta. I'm actually currently testing out a beta firmware, and I should have reverted it back to a older version, but there's a couple things on here that you won't see on the 5000. Eventually you will, but don't look. So that is that's the update on these guys, and it's a huge update. We're really excited for them. And the response from a lot of the top tier DJs has just been amazing. We have Macioplex. Macioplex, of course, is one of the top 5 DJs in the techno house community in the world. He is fully switched over to the SC6000s. He's live streaming with them. Huge proponent of it. We have Panpod out of the UK. Of course, we have Laidback Luke. We have Oliver Heldens. So the response has been absolutely amazing on these guys.
Cool. It looks like Fernando was asking when did the 6000s shipping out. It was Q2, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. And so someone then asked how much storage is supported on the drive. So for that, you do have a USB and an SD slot in the front. You have 2 more USBs in the back, and then you have a full hard drive. So you could put like a 1 terabyte, 2 terabyte solid state hard drive. We recommend a solid state hard drive just for the search speeds on there. But not only that, you do have full title streaming. So you can see here that I'm accessing title. I can come in here and type in any song. So we'll just put in, Ty, give me a request. What song do you want?
Oh, goodness. You put me on the spot.
No pressure,
man. Let's do Basement Jacks. Where's your head at? Let's see
Jacks.
Let's see how good title is.
Okay, so we're just going to come in here and type in Basement Jacks. There's Basement Jacks right there. So I'm actually going to go to Artist. Basement Jacks is the first one that pops up. Where's your head at? Now, I just have this connected to my home Wi-Fi, but we can see the actual stream speed right here. So what's happening is I swipe it. The song is already downloaded. Now, since this unit and all of our units are running Engine OS, and we'll get to more detail about Engine OS in a second, it instantly downloads it, puts it in a buffer so you won't ever have any audio dropouts. And then it does real-time analyzation, and you saw that process going across the bottom of the screen here. Right. Then as soon as it's done analyzing the track, we're going to get right here the beat grid, the key, the tempo, and that is saving to the media source that I have connected inside. So all that metadata is saved on the media source. So when I download this song again, I don't have to reanalyze it.
Oh, nice. That's fantastic. Yeah, don't play it or we'll kill the stream.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, so the size of internal SATA drive really, is there a limit, or is it just, reasonably, I assume if you get too big, you start ending up with a drive that's too big to actually manage, right?
Yeah, I mean, if the larger the drive, the longer the search speeds will be.
Right.
But we've tested all the way up to 2 terabytes and haven't had any issues with searching. And 2 terabytes is a pretty huge amount of music.
It is.
So,
and if you have 2 terabyte drive in each 6000, can they share?
Yep. You just go right here to your source, and then all your connected source will be right here. I don't have anything plugged in because I'm just streaming off Tidal right now, so your sources will just show up right there. Right
on. And then they just connect into the mixer, is that correct?
Yep, the mixer has a built-in Ethernet, so unlike other products out there where you have to have a hub, we have a hub fully built in.
Right on.
When you look at the back of the 1850, you'll notice there's 4 input Ethernet links for player 1, 2, 3, and 4, but also a PC connection. And that PC connection is really important for going over to SoundSwitch. So SoundSwitch is another product owned by InMusic, which is all under, works seamlessly with Denon products. And the way that works is on your laptop, you have a little USB to DMX cable. You connect all your lights, you set up your universe one time. It analyzes your entire engine library. And then as soon as I pick a song, it's going to load a custom light show, and it will respond to the fader movement. So when I bring this up, the light show dedicated to this track over here is going to be executed on all those lights. I no longer need to have a light jockey with me or put them in like a sound activation mode. They respond completely to the emotion of that song, and it's really incredible.
Right on. That's fantastic. And is that the sound switch integration that's going to be true for anything that's engine compatible?
Correct.
Or
Yep.
Prime,
So,
or is it only Prime?
It's you can use it with Serato. So if you have, let's say, the Prime 4 controlling Serato, that will work. If you have the Prime 4 in full standalone, that will work. These will work. The Prime 2 will work. The Prime Go will work. So anything that's Prime,
okay,
or something that is running Serato will also connect to sound switch and run like that as well.
Awesome. Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see any other questions here on the six. Anybody have any other questions on the SC6000 or X1850? The M is going to be motorized platter, right?
Correct. It is a fully motorized platter. And again, just like the 5000 to the 6000, the 5000M to the 6000M, as a larger jog wheel on it. So the jog wheel is actually this same size, 8.5 inches, but just in a vinyl. And then it has a full high torque turntable motor, and they're the same one in the VL12. And you can have a high and a low torque setting on there, so you can really dial in your pickup speed while you're DJing, how quickly you want it to go back.
Right on. And that'll have the same 10-inch touchscreen?
Correct. Yep. Exact same unit, just with the difference is the platter. One is motorized compared to the static one right here.
Nice. So it's all a very similar ecosystem. It's not like you're giving up features by switching to a different model. You're just choosing the size and the setup of the platter.
Correct. Yeah, exactly. And that's because one message we're really trying to get out to people is that all of our equipment runs on Engine OS, and it's not an old structure. Used to be a DSP chip lived inside the equipment. You hit this, it executes code. We have a living, breathing, ever-evolving ecosystem called Engine OS, and that's inside everything. So when a major update comes out for the 6000, it's going to be compatible with the 5000, with the Prime 2, the Prime 4, the Prime Go. So once you understand the workflow and you have all the features down, you can use any of our equipment, and it's the exact same workflow.
Right on. So you're familiar no matter where you go. Maybe a club might have a controller, or you take a controller with you, practice on a controller at home, and then if you take the SC5000s or 6000s out, it's going to have a familiar OS feel to it.
100%. And that's kind of the when we look at the Prime Go in a moment here, the story that works with the Prime Go and the 6000s is beautiful, because you can have that little portable guy, use it anywhere on your lap, prepping your set, take the SD card out, plug it into the SD card on here, and all your work is done.
Right on. That's fantastic. Very cool. Does anybody else have any questions about SC6000 and X1850 for Stu? Anyone? Bueller. All right. Any plans to integrate a sampler feature into future Engine OS updates?
That is a requested feature, and I can't necessarily comment specifics, but when features are requested heavily, we listen and work them into the future updates. One thing that anybody listening can do is they can go to the Denon forums, and there we have a whole section of feature requests, and the more action that a certain feature gets, the sooner it goes up the implementation chart of when that update's going to happen. So I can't give specifics on bringing in the sampler, but I can just say that it is a requested feature and we're looking at it.
Yeah, people have been talking about it for a couple of years now, since the 4 launch. So, yep. My suspicion is we will probably see it eventually. So,
no comment.
Yep. Cool. Anything else you want to go over on these pieces of gear, Stu?
No, I mean, that's kind of a good overview of them. One thing with all of our units is the customization is pretty incredible. If you go into the utilities and you can pretty much dial in the preference panel everything about that, and then you can save all your preferences to your connected media source, and then when you go from club to club, plug it in, it will map it out exactly how you'd like it. So the color of your layer A and your layer B. And that's one thing that sometimes is often overlooked in the technology that we have in the 5000 and the 6000 is on one player, you can play 2 tracks. It has a layer A and a layer B with 2 separate audio outputs with RCAs and digital outs. And so the way that we've brought in the color coordination to keep it easy to understand is when you have a player connected, you can set a different color to layer A and layer B, and then that maps over to the mixer. So if my layer A is blue and that is plugged into, let's say, channel 1, then the Q button is going to be blue on that. If layer B is red and that goes into channel 2, the Q button on the channel that's associated with that is going to match the color. So when you're queuing and searching for tracks and loading, it's an easy way to keep it separated because nothing else on the market actually can play 2 tracks coming out of the same unit.
So there's lots of visual indicators that you can customize. So in a DJ booth and you're mixing music and whatnot, trying to keep track of 4 different sources, there's lots of color-coded features you can use to keep your head straight.
Exactly. Right, trying to make it the super advanced in technology, but also super easy to get into and use.
Cool. Ramon is asking, what's your favorite feature on the X1850?
The X1850, it would have to be this new effect, the pumper. So I do, 4 to the floor, hard techno kind of music. And this pumper is essentially kind of like if you were looking at like a Waves 1-knob pumper, which is a VST people use in Ableton and DAWs a lot.
Let's hear it.
So what this allows me to... you want to hear it? Okay.
If you're going to talk about an effect, we have to hear it.
We have to hear it. So let's say I'm playing this track. It's like a very smooth pumping gate where it just ducks it. But the way I use it is when I'm mixing 2 tracks together, I'll actually put the pumper on one full track and have that essentially pump and sidechain to the kick drum of the other one. So it just creates this much more of a cohesive vibe between the 2 layers. Yep. Because one is actually pulsating with the BPM of the other one.
And it's kind of ducked out also. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Right on. So that's very cool.
That's a new effect on there. I use it a lot. I love it.
You want to load a different track up that's not copywritten if you got a second?
Yeah, I just realized that.
I know.
But with Tidal also we have Tidal streaming. There's all these curated playlists on Tidal too. So if you just come in here, they have all these collections, and we're constantly talking and working with them about getting more curated playlists directed more towards the DJ community. So they actually have a whole team dedicated to creating more curated playlists to incorporate into here. And with Tidal, we've done 4-hour back-to-backs just messing around, and it's, I think 45-50 million songs are on Tidal now. So you can pretty much find the most obscure music out there. Like I typed in stuff that I made back in 2002 and it showed up. I was like,
oh wow, right on.
Yeah, so it's it's fun stuff. It's all the music you could ever need right there at your hands. One thing that I actually heard that was really cool is a DJ was doing a live stream and they didn't have that much music. So what they did is they shared a playlist with a bunch of their friends, a Tidal playlist, and the friends were putting tracks in that playlist and it would update in real time. And then he would just go to his playlist right here, and those requests were updating in real time.
Oh, that's super cool. Right on.
So I think that's going to be a cool thing to kind of, for all these people live streaming, if you're live streaming with Denon Gear and Tidal streaming, you could do that. You could do like a full 2-hour user requested live stream where you share with them the playlist. they're updating it, and you're just going through the requested songs on that playlist that's updating in real time.
Oh, that's pretty slick. And that would work right now, like on a Prime 4, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Or any of the Prime gear that's out right now.
Yeah,
Kevin just
Prime
on.
4.
Kevin just messaged me to point out, just to loop back to SoundSwitch, that SoundSwitch does require a separate computer, correct?
Correct.
To run the SoundSwitch.
Correct.
So.
Yep, the program does run on that separate computer. And what you do is you analyze your library, and then it stores the associated lighting show file to your library. So when you pull up the track on your player, it shoots the requested metadata over to pull up that light show dedicated to that song.
Right. And I think we can post it down in the comments later, or maybe Kevin can pull it up and post it. But I know you did a video for us here at HQ a couple of months ago, doing a little demo with the Prime 4 and SoundSwitch. So maybe we can post that in the
post
stream
it
well.
up. That'd be great. Setup only takes one time per venue. So if you have 4 or 5 different locations that you're consistent at, you just set up that venue one time. It saves the entire universe layout inside of SoundSwitch, and then you go there. You just go to performance mode, select the venue, and then all your lights are already mapped, and you're ready to go. That's it. It's super quick and easy.
It looks a whole lot better than a whole pile of lights on sound active mode.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
They're kind of like.
And I'm totally guilty of that. I'm that guy. I'm going to link my 2 crappy lights together and play music all night, and that's my light show. So Kevin's much more into the light show than me. So
that's amazing.
Cool. Anybody else have any other questions about the gear that we've got out on the screen right now? Boom, 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 boom. So are we ready to go on to the Prime Go, Stu?
Yeah, let's do it.
Perfect.
So we're going to start with the Prime 2.
Oh, okay. Prime 2.
Yep. So
and then, real quick, just so everybody knows, this piece is actually shipping right now. These are in stock. So
yep.
Good to know that this is not future software. Future hardware.
The Prime 2 was a heavily requested piece. The Prime 4, when that came out, it really redefined the possibilities of a standalone unit. It did everything, but we did get some feedback with people that said, hey, I love everything the Prime 4 can do, but I just need a 2-channel version, hence the Prime 2. So with the Prime 2, it is a little bit smaller. The big differences that you'll see right off the bat is instead of a 10-inch touchscreen, it's a 7-inch touchscreen, but we're still able to get all of the information on that screen. And again, you can change the layout of it from vertical waveforms to horizontal waveforms. Title streaming. It does have a hard drive in the bottom. 2 channels, 2 effects units, 2 microphones. The ins and outs on the back are still all the high professional ones of XLRs. You just will notice that, the performance pads are slightly smaller to accommodate the smaller size of it. But other than that, it is still extremely fully functional with 2 channels on there and 2 microphones, and it's a bit more portable since it's a little bit smaller in size.
And Stu, I had a quick question. So with the Prime 2, we just kicked off a promo where anyone that buys a Prime 2, we're going to let them have a free SoundSwitch micro USB, so they can, take advantage of. I think when you get a SoundSwitch, you get 3 months for free. Is that right?
Correct. Yep, you get 3 months for free on that.
And then, does the Prime 2 include a free subscription also, or do you know if that's included?
No, SoundSwitches, you get 3 months for free, and then after that, it is $7 a month.
Okay. Or you can buy it outright, correct?
Correct. Yes, you can. But yeah, it's on all the Prime 4, the Prime 2, and the Prime Go. There is a link connection in the back, and you set it up the exact same way you would do the link off the 1850, where it's an Ethernet directly connected into the laptop, and then the laptop has that micro USB to DMX that then goes into all your lights, and then you're off and running. It's the same functionality as all of them because they are all running Engine OS. So you still have all the advanced features and everything you need. Another really cool thing that you'll see on the screen right there is with the Prime 4, the Prime 2, and the Prime Go, you can actually record your entire set to whatever media source is connected. So even if you only have a single media source that's connected, such as one SD or a USB that's connected, you can still have the music streaming off of that, but also then recording directly to that and record your whole set at the same time. So one thing that, you know, was a little trick for a lot of wedding guys out there is they would run their microphones into the Prime 4, you would record the vows and then just save that file as vows. And then during the first dance, you would load the vows onto their own channel, put a little reverb, a little delay on it, and you would actually play the vows that they just said a couple hours ago over the first dance.
That's fantastic.
And, yeah, man, you'll see tips double. You'll see people bawling out in the audience. It's a little trick that goes a long way. And since you can do it and just record it right there on the unit, you can just name it right there. It saves it into a folder called sessions. You know, so you just type in vows and then the date, and then you just load that up and you play that over the first dance, and all of a sudden you're an amazing rock star.
Right on. Very cool.
Mm-hmm. So the one thing you will notice on the Prime 2 is if we look at the deck layout, you'll notice that the location of the buttons is very similar to the Prime 4 and also the 6000. So on the left-hand side, you have your loop section at the top. Then you have your track skip forward and backwards. Then you have your beat jump, your cue, your performance pads along the bottom. You have your pitch slider on the right, and then also your sync right above that. So once you get accustomed to a Prime 2, you could easily just take your media source, step into a club, and just look at a 6000 for about 5 minutes and be completely comfortable, because the operation of the engine OS is going to be the exact same layout on the screen. And then also the buttons, the layout of the actual decks and the buttons is going to be identical as well. So it really is a entire ecosystem of, once you get into it, you can grow up through all the different units all the way up to the top with the 6000s and the 1850.
My favorite thing about the way they did these was making sure the pitch sliders were on the same sides and not the mirror images.
Correct. Yep. Because that's just around the theory of, if you have a set of 6000s, they're going to be on the exact same. So it's basically, if you were to take two decks, put them together with a mixer in the middle and then a screen to navigate the whole thing, that's what you'd have in a Prime 2. And again, with the Prime 2, you have USBs on the top, SD card on the slot, USBs in the back. You have a hard drive bay in the bottom of it to expand with a hard drive, and it truly is a unit. Now, after the Prime 2 is shipping now, currently on the market. You can pick it up at AGI. And after this, in about 3 to 4 weeks, we will have the highly anticipated Prime Go as well. So with the Prime Go, if we flip over to that slide presentation that was just up, we can take a look at the layout here. So that's an overview of the Prime Go. If you happen to show and get your hands on it, you can have an understanding of the size of it. And in a second, we'll flip back to the other screen where Andrew actually has one, so you can see the relative size. But even with the small size of this, it still has all of the advanced feature set of the entire Denon ecosystem. Because again, this is running Engine OS. Just as we talked about before, all of our equipment runs the same operating system. So even if it's a small, compact form factor of the hardware, Engine OS still lives inside of it. So if we take a look at the Prime Go, 7-inch touchscreen on the top, you do have a 3-band EQ, and the EQ is horizontal instead of vertical, just for the size constraints of the unit. It does have 2 matching decks, and again, with the decks, we brought it down to 4 performance pads for the size, but you do have a bank button, so you can easily go into all 8 of your hot cues, all 8 of your loops. It does have touch-sensitive jog wheels on there, so you can actually scratch on it. Even though the jog wheels are small, they're extremely responsive and very smooth. And then you have your standard cue and your play, and then in the center, you have a 2-channel mixer. And the cool thing about the mixer right there is if we look at the top of the channel above the volume fader, is that one knob, you can actually have 2 effects on that one knob. So one side is the most popular off of the 1850, which is called the washout, which is like a delayed echo out. And then the second one is your standard high pass, low pass filter. Now that's per channel, but then you also have a effects unit up on the upper left that you can dial in an effect and assign it either to deck 1 or deck 2. So essentially you can have 3 effects going all at the same time on this unit. And the most impressive part about this unit is that it is fully battery operated. We did about a 4-hour back-to-back set, and it still had roughly, I'd say 28 to 30% battery. And that was, every song was streaming Tidal. So it was connected to Wi-Fi. Every song was streaming and downloaded. And we advertised that it's a 4-hour battery life just to be safe. But even after that 4 hours, we still had quite a bit of time left on the actual Prem Go, and it's so much fun. You know, it's something you could just have everywhere. You can have it in your kitchen, do a set there. You can have it in your backpack, take it on the road. For the whole fact that it's battery powered and it's fully functional, it is just so much fun. And you really have to get your hands on one and play around with it to really understand how cool it is.
The 7-inch screen is multi-touch, correct? Same multi-gesture screen?
Yep, it's the same screen that's on the SC6000 and the Prime 2.
Okay, cool.
So on the Prime 2, it's slightly angled up because it's set a little farther back, and then on the Prime Go, since you're looking directly down at it, it's just flat. And the exact same functionality fully runs Engine OS. You can do it with horizontal, vertical waveforms, Tidal streaming, Wi-Fi built in. Again, you have microphone inputs on it, so even for such a small unit, I mean, if you're a mobile DJ, anytime you need to do a reception in, let's say, a remote area on the beach, somewhere you don't want to lug a lot of equipment, this guy is the perfect solution for that. You could even do a full wedding just with this if you wanted to. You put it in a flight case to protect it a little bit, and you're all set. But you know, you can do all the same features as far as recording the vows through that, and then saving that, and then playing the vows over the first dance. Everything fully capable, no compromise on it, and it's fully battery operated, which is super cool.
Right on. Very cool. Power, the AC power pack, is it a wall wart or is it an IEC in?
It's a wall wart just for size constraints on there, so you have a little wall wart. It's not that big.
Yeah.
And that just plugs into the back. Yeah, you can see the size right there on that.
Cool. Right on.
So Andrew, could you possibly show the Prem Go on top of the Prime 2 so we could see a size comparison? I know you kind of moved them both around, but let's have a look at both of them. So there's the Prime 2, 2-channel portable unit, and then the Prem Go. That's about the size comparison right there.
Oh, right
so
on.
You can see it'll fit in the majority of backpacks. The backpack that we use to carry it around isn't anything larger than a standard laptop backpack. And then if you look at the back, here's all our ins and outs. So even in this small of a unit, you still have XLR on the master out. You still have 1/4 inch on your booth. You have 2 microphone inputs with combination jacks on there. You have RCA for the unbalanced, and you have an RCA auxiliary in. And the cool part about that is you can cue that, so you can actually cue what's coming into the unit on the auxiliary before you play it out to the crowd.
Oh, nice. That's cool. Locking USB port also. Very cool.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, and then with your power cable too, that little silver knob above the power button is so if you want to anchor the power cord to the unit, you can do that. That was just a standard thing we put on almost anything with a wall wart. But since it's battery operated, even if the power cord got plucked out, it's battery operated, so you're fine.
Right, and then the Link Ethernet, is that for sound switch?
Yep.
Okay, very cool. So you could, like you said, you could take it with you. You could do a wedding ceremony and then do the rest of the reception with it if you wanted.
Yeah, exactly. It's great. And then after the party's over, if you're having an after hours for the true diehards, you could just bring it right to the after hours and keep going.
Right on. Cool. Does anybody have any questions on the Prime 2 or the Prime Go? Or Kevin, is there anything that I missed or that we missed that we need to touch on?
Oh, Kevin is muted.
Yep, you're muted. You muted yourself because of that damn keyboard.
I know. I got a clicky keyboard. Anyway, we were going to talk about the special exclusive promo for Prime 4 going forward with us, since all of the new Prime gear is not Serato supported, correct? Can anybody hear me?
Stu, can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
Okay. Kevin was asking or mentioning that the new Prime 2 and then the Prime Go, neither one of those pieces are going to have Serato support. Is that correct?
Yeah, correct. We chose not to, because what we found with the Prime 4 is we released the Prime 4. It's fully standalone, and people dove into it. It had a huge response from the community. People began to convert their libraries over, because it's really easy to convert your whole Serato library over. And they did request Serato a lot, but we found that the amount of people that actually are currently using Serato on the Prime 4 is a lot less than they were asking initially, because once they've converted their library over, they realized you don't really need to risk bringing your laptop, just one more thing that could have an issue, or that's an expensive piece of equipment. So it's one of those things where the response, people wanted it, and then as soon as we gave it to them, not a whole lot of people went back to using Serato, and it really validated the proof of concept for the full standalone experience. And so with the Prime 2 and the Prime Go, if you have Serato, you can just easily convert your entire library over in Engine Prime, and then put it on a hard drive, throw it in there, put it on an SD card, throw it in there, and it'll be laid out nearly exactly as it would be in Serato.
Right on. Can you see Jared's question there on the screens too?
Yeah, is the jogwheel scrubbing distance speed adjustable? There is nudge sensitivity. As far as the tension, there's not tension, but you can go into the preferences inside of the utilities and adjust how much movement you get for the nudge. So you can do a low, medium, high, and I think super high. So you can have it when you push it, it barely moves, or when you push it, it moves a lot. So you can really dial that in. You save that in your preferences as well.
You can change the velocity.
Yep.
So Jared, hopefully that answered your question. And if it didn't, shoot Kevin or I a message and we'll get it answered for you for sure.
And respect on Howard the Duck picture.
Right. So wanted to address a couple of the promos that AGI Pro DJ is running right now with the Prime gear. If you buy a Prime 2 before June 1st, you'll get a free sound switch, the little micro USB DMX interface. Just mention this live show. All you gotta do is call the staff here and say, hey, I saw the Denon or the AGI Pro DJ After Hours with Denon DJ with Stu, and I want to pick up a Prime 2 with the free sound switch. We will get that taken care of for you. And then we're also going to have some bundles available on the Prime 4. So between now and June 1st, you can get a Serato DJ suite for free. And I know, Stu, we just talked about, use the Prime 4, and you'll find that you might really like the engine software experience. There's still going to be people that are hardcore going to not want to switch over to a different, an ecosystem, and I respect that. But if you buy a Prime 4, you're going to have the ability to get onto the engine OS and see what it's all about. For those people that are still using Serato DJ, if you buy one of the Prime 4 bundles from us, and those will be up tomorrow morning, you get a free Serato DJ suite for free, which is worth $300. That includes Serato DJ Pro, Serato Play, DVS, Video, FX, Flip, and the Pitch and Time DJ. So the DJ suite's worth about $300 with the software. And then we'll have a few bundles that'll be available from us between now and June 1. Buy a Prime 4 and you'll get a free Serato DJ suite. And then lastly on the screen, yeah, for sure. Prem Go pre-orders. We're doing zero money down pre-orders. We don't like taking people's money. It's not cool, and we don't need to take your money before we ship a product. So just give us a call. We'll set up a zero money down pre-order for you. It locks your place in line, and we can get you taken care of. Stu, what's the ETA on Prem Go?
3 to 4 weeks.
Right on. Are they here yet, or are they on their way?
Coming up pretty quick. What's that?
Are they here yet, or are they on their way?
On the water.
Right on. Cool. Speaking of water. Kevin, did I miss anything else? There's some questions here at the end, and we'll touch on those in just a sec. If you can hear me or not. There he is.
I think we've got everything covered. We touched on everything that I could think of. Yeah, I don't have anything else.
Cool. We've had this come up a couple of times, Stu, and maybe you can touch on it. We've had people that have bought a Prime 4 and have bought a SATA drive and have struggled to get the SATA drive formatted and usable inside of the Prime 4 because they didn't have a Mac computer. Did I hit that right, Kevin?
Yeah. So for myself included. So I am a PC user. I've got a really nice gaming laptop that isn't formatted in exFAT. It's basically, I just rolled with it as it was. And I've got so much built into it now that it's too complicated for me to undo or redo or get a new laptop. So I can't take advantage of the Prime 4 right now as much as I want to because I can't even connect my drive to it.
Or you could just bring your hard drive to the shop and we could dump it onto the Death Star and then copy it over,
True. Right. We could do the hard drive, but I can't connect my computer to go control.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, we with the installing the hard drives, we recommend like a FAT, FAT
exFAT or FAT, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it's best if you are getting a hard drive specific for one of the units, format it right away, right off the bat, and then that will just build the solid foundation so you don't have any glitches or bugs with searching or anything in the future. And we always recommend an SSD drive as well.
That just lets you load and search faster.
Are using it. Yeah, we definitely do not recommend a spinning drive, not only just for the speed, but if you're using your unit to do gigs and move around, you have a lot higher risk of knocking the lasers out of alignment on a spinning hard drive. Just don't use a spinning hard drive just to protect your library.
Yep, not worth it, especially with the heads moving. The heads will crash on the platters. So SSD for sure. Supported streaming formats. Tidal, right? Is that it for now?
Tidal, and then it's we have SoundCloud soon to come out, and then also there's BPort Link, which is basically you're going to be able to stream any song off of BeatPort, and then there's also BeatSource as well. Right
on. And which of those are live right now? All of those?
Tidal is currently live on the units.
Okay, and then everything else is
and then
probably 2020?
Everything else in the very, very near future. Yep.
Right on.
Yep, very near future. And then I see there's a question as far as elastic beat grids. That is also coming very soon. I can't give the exact date on that, but it's It's in what's called kind of a testing state. And so we are working on that. It's heavily requested, and we are listening, and we will have an answer very soon for that.
So there's proof positive right there that you guys listen to what DJs want and implement those features.
Yeah, 100%. And again, if anybody has any feedback or anything, we have a really heavily moderated forum, the Denon DJ forums, and there's a whole section on feature requests. And we are checking it every single day, and we have just a whole list of everything everybody wants, and the things that get the most attention just get bumped up higher on the list, and we focus on those first.
Right on. Now that's a really nice thing about you guys owning your own ecosystem is you can prioritize feature updates on the things that need attention versus having to rely on another, platform provider.
Exactly. And it's all based on user feedback.
Cool.
Awesome. So engine 1.5 will be updated soon, and that is with a heavily requested sync manager on there, and then quite a bit of other very heavily requested items that I can't specifically say, but we can just say it's sync manager plus a very large chunk of the most requested things off of the forums.
Nice. So that'll be launching soon.
Yeah. Yep.
Right
soon.
on. Cool.
Awesome.
All right. Anybody else have any questions? Now's the time to ask. We've got Stu's undivided attention. Anyone? Kevin, did I get everything? Anything else you can think of?
I think we're good. We got an hour in. We got a good handful of loyal fans and followers watching the show tonight, and I think we can just wrap up and plan for next Thursday night.
Cool. Sounds good. So we're going to try to do this every Thursday night. I inadvertently called it AGI Pro DJ After Dark last night in sleep deprivation, which was kind of funny, but AGI Pro DJ After Hours will be Thursday nights after we shut down for the day. So make sure you tune in, watch for our lives on Facebook, Twitch, Periscope, and YouTube. And I think we're going to try Instagram next week. So Stu, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. Andrew, thank you for your hands. I appreciate those as well. That sounded really terrible. Wow. Yeah, man, I know, right? Just shut up. Go to bed. On that note, we are done.
All right,
thanks,
guys,
everybody.
Thanks a lot, man. We really appreciate doing this and look forward to doing it again.
Absolutely. Thanks for everything, Stu. Thanks, Andrew. And thanks, everybody out in the internets for watching. We really appreciate it. And day and night DJs, we will get rid of Kevin's mechanical keyboard sometime between now and then. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next week.